Ready to dive deep into some self-awareness?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Today we're looking at 50 daily reflection journal prompts.
Ah, yeah, from Lestallion.
Those are the journal people, right?
Yeah, they make really nice journals, actually.
So they put out this blog post, and it's not just a list of prompts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they actually break down why daily reflection is so powerful.
Okay, interesting.
And I love how they've organized everything.
Oh, so?
They have it broken down into 5 categories.
5 categories.
And each category has its own focus.
So it's like a roadmap or something.
It's kind of like that. Yeah, a roadmap for self-discovery. I like that.
That's a good way to put it, and it makes it really accessible,
Yeah.
even if you're not a journaling expert.
Absolutely. So anyone listening can totally benefit from these prompts.
Right, anyone who wants to understand themselves better.
And let's be real, who doesn't want that, right?
Exactly. So where do we even begin with 50 prompts?
Well, let's start with the gratitude category.
Okay.
Gratitude, it's all about focusing on the positive, which can be really helpful.
Especially for people who are always on the go.
Right. Those busy learners out there.
So how do they suggest we practice gratitude?
Well, one prompt that stood out to me was number 3.
What does that one say?
It asks, what's a small detail I noticed today that brought me joy, even if it seemed insignificant at the time?
Okay, so noticing those little moments.
Exactly, because sometimes we're so busy we miss them.
I know, I do that all the time.
Me too. And it turns out there's actually research behind this.
Really?
Yeah, studies show that practicing gratitude can actually boost your happiness and well-being.
Wow. So it's not just some feel-good thing.
Nope, it actually changes your brain. It's
Interesting.
like training yourself to see the good even when things are tough.
I like that. Okay, what other gratitude prompts are there?
Well, there's number 9, which asks, how did I feel when I focused on gratitude today, and what benefits did it bring to my mood?
So it's getting you to think about how gratitude actually affects you.
Right. It's about being mindful of the impact.
I can see how that would be helpful.
Definitely. All right, moving on. Let's talk about achievements and growth.
Okay, achievements and growth.
These prompts encourage you to reflect on your accomplishments.
And the lessons you've learned.
Exactly. Which I think really resonates with the learner persona.
Makes sense. They love to learn and grow.
And it's all about having a growth mindset.
Like that Carol Dweck research.
You know it.
So believing that you can improve with effort.
Exactly. And these prompts tap into that.
How so?
We'll take prompt number 2, for example.
Okay, prompt number 2.
It asks, what challenge did I face today, and how did I handle it in a way that helped me grow?
So instead of dwelling on setbacks, you look at them as opportunities.
Yeah, it's about reframing those challenges.
Powerful stuff.
Now let's get a little deeper, shall we?
Very. I'm intrigued.
Let's talk about the emotional awareness category.
Emotional awareness. Oh, that's a big one.
It's about exploring your full range of emotions.
Both the good and the bad, huh?
Exactly. And it can be tough, but also incredibly freeing.
I can imagine.
The idea is to lean into those emotions.
With curiosity.
And self-compassion.
Instead of just trying to avoid them.
Exactly. And prompt number 8 really resonated with me here.
Oh, what does that one say?
How did I experience self-compassion today? And why was it important to show kindness to myself?
Yeah, self-compassion is so important.
It really is. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend.
Like acknowledging that you're human and you make mistakes.
Right. And that you deserve kindness even when you mess up.
That makes sense. Right, what's next?
Well, let's see how our emotions play out in our relationships.
Okay.
Relationships. So the next category is relationships and connections.
That's a good one.
It's all about healthy communication and setting boundaries.
Those are essential skills.
Especially for learners who are constantly growing and evolving.
So what kind of prompts do they have for this?
Well, I like prompt number 4.
What's that one?
It says, how did I express love or appreciation to someone today? And how did it strengthen our bond?
So focusing on the positive.
Exactly. Sometimes we get so caught up in life we forget to show appreciation.
I'm definitely guilty of that.
Me too. But those little gestures can make a big difference.
Yeah, they can really strengthen those connections.
And it's not just about expressing positive emotions.
Right, there's got to be some conflict in there too.
Exactly. So prompt number 8 asks, how did I handle a disagreement today, and what did I learn about communication?
That's a good one, because conflict is inevitable.
It is, but it's all about how you handle it.
Learning to communicate your needs and boundaries.
Even when things get heated.
And speaking of boundaries, there's prompt number 6.
What does that one say?
How did I set a boundary in a relationship today, and why was it necessary for my well-being?
Boundaries are so important.
They are. It's not selfish. It's actually a form of self-care.
And that brings us to our final category, Self-care and well-being.
Ah, self-care.
This one's all about prioritizing your own well-being.
Your physical, emotional, and mental health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is essential for everyone, but especially for busy learners.
So what kind of self-care prompts do they have?
Well, there's prompt number 1, which asks, how did I make time for self-care today? And how did it impact my mood and energy levels?
Okay, so being intentional about taking care of yourself.
Right, and it doesn't have to be anything major.
Even small things can make a difference.
Exactly, like taking a walk, listening to music, or just having a quiet moment.
Yeah, those little things can really add up.
And prompt number 5 is all about being intentional with those moments.
How so?
It asks, when did I feel the most relaxed, and what activities helped me feel that way?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's about figuring out what works for you.
So you can make it a regular part of your routine.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have 5 categories, tons of prompts.
What's standing out to you so far?
I'm really impressed with how these prompts encourage honesty and compassion.
Yeah,
It's like they're inviting you to explore your inner world without judgment.
that's a great observation.
And it's a reminder that self-reflection is a journey.
It's not about being perfect.
It's about learning and growing.
And the beauty is that you can adapt these prompts to your own needs.
They're just a starting point.
So as we wrap up part 1 of this deep dive,
Already.
I want you to think about the 5 categories we discussed.
Okay. Gratitude achievements and growth, emotional awareness, relationships and connections, and self-care and well-being.
Which one resonates most with you right now?
That's a good question.
Hold on to that thought and we'll pick up the conversation in part 2,
Right, looking forward to it.
where we'll explore even more prompts and dive deeper into the art of self-reflection.
Sounds good. Welcome back.
It's time for more of those journal prompts,
From Lestallion. Yeah.
all about self-discovery.
So last time we talked about those 5 categories.
Gratitude achievements and growth, emotional awareness, relationships and connections, and self-care and well-being.
Did you have a chance to think about which one resonated most?
Yeah, which one really spoke to you?
Hopefully you had some time to ponder that.
Because we're going to jump back into those prompts.
Okay, let's see what else they've got.
Back to the gratitude category.
Gratitude.
There's this one prompt number 6,
Number 6.
and it asks, what's one thing about my daily routine that I'm grateful for, and how does it support my well-being?
So finding gratitude in everyday stuff.
Exactly. Things we might normally take for granted,
Like a warm cup of coffee in the morning.
or having a roof over your head.
Right. Simple things, but they matter.
They really do, and appreciating them can shift your whole perspective
Definitely. All right, let's move on.
to achievements and growth.
Okay, back to growth mindset.
This time, prompt number 7 stood out to me.
What's that one?
It says, what's a recent accomplishment I can celebrate, and how does it reflect my growth over time?
Oh, celebrating your wins.
Exactly. It's so easy to forget to do that.
I know I do.
We get so focused on what's next.
But acknowledging your accomplishments can boost your confidence.
It's like taking a moment to appreciate how far you've come.
Makes sense. Okay, where to next?
Let's get into some emotional awareness.
All right, diving deep.
Prompt number 4 asks, what's an emotion I want to explore more deeply, and why do I feel drawn to understand it?
Getting curious about your emotions.
Instead of avoiding them,
Sometimes those are the ones we need to understand the most.
right, they hold the key to growth.
Okay, so we've explored our emotions, now what?
Relationships and connections.
Oh, yeah, how our emotions affect our relationships.
Prompt number 9 asks, what's a memory I shared with someone today, and how did it bring us closer?
Thinking about those special moments.
The ones that strengthen your bonds.
Memories are powerful.
They really are. They can shape our relationships.
All right, last category, self-care and well-being.
Here we go.
Taking care of ourselves.
And this time it's prompt number 9 again.
Really? Number 9 in 2 different categories.
Yeah, but that's a good one. It says, what's one simple joy I experienced today, and how did it uplift my spirit?
Finding those little joys.
Exactly. A warm cup of tea, a beautiful sunset,
Yeah.
a quiet moment.
Things that nourish your soul.
And remind you of the good things in life.
So we've gone through a bunch more prompts.
Do you see how they can help you create a more meaningful life?
I think so. It's like we're mapping out our inner world.
One prompt at a time.
And certain categories might resonate more at different times in your life.
Definitely, it's a fluid process.
The key is to be curious and compassionate with yourself.
As you explore your inner landscape, we're back for the final part of our deep dive.
Time to wrap up all this self-reflection talk, huh?
It's been pretty insightful though, right?
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm a little surprised by how much I've enjoyed these prompts.
Me too. They really make you think.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
So many more prompts to explore.
Definitely go check out the full list on Lestallion's blog if you're interested.
Yeah, they have some really good stuff.
Before we go, though, I wanted to touch on something.
What's that?
Remember those 5 categories we talked about?
Gratitude achievements and growth, emotional awareness, relationships and connections, and self-care and well-being.
Right, all those categories, they're actually all connected.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Like pieces of a puzzle.
They all fit together to create a whole picture of you.
Exactly. When you practice gratitude, it can boost your emotional well-being.
And when you're feeling good emotionally, you can handle relationships and challenges better.
And then, when you feel good about yourself and your connections, you're more likely to prioritize self-care.
It's like a positive feedback loop.
Exactly. It all works together.
And I think that's the key takeaway here.
What's that?
Daily reflection isn't just about journaling.
It's about living a better life.
Exactly. It's about understanding yourself, your emotions, your relationships, and the world around you.
And using that understanding to make good choices.
Choices that align with your values and goals.
So how can people actually make daily reflection a part of their lives?
Well, it doesn't have to be a huge time commitment.
Even a few minutes a day can make a difference.
You can use the Lestallion prompts or come up with your own.
Whatever works best for you.
The important thing is to be consistent.
Make it a habit.
And be kind to yourself.
Don't judge yourself. Just be curious.
Remember, self-reflection is a journey, not a destination.
So what's one small step you can take today to start reflecting?
Think about it, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Until then, happy reflecting, everyone.